Big news for Notre Dame. Elite offensive tackle Guerby Lambert has committed to Notre Dame over the likes of Boston College, Harvard, and Ohio State. Elite player on 3, ranks him as the number 36 overall prospect and number 5 offensive tackle in the 2024 class. Tim, how excited are you about this news for the Fighting Irish?
Mike, if I could do a backflip, I would, because this has been him along with Asa from, when they got St. John Bosco, have been the two I've wanted in this class all along. Guerby Lambert gives them an elite offensive lineman who can play anywhere that, they need to fill him in. He is a bona fide 5-star, I think, in this class, which is going to give them just another great offensive tackle to go with, Wagner, Jagasaw, especially in the last two. As Alton Fisher, finalize their days here at Notre Dame, whenever those end. But this is huge, Mike. This is a huge get for Notre Dame moving forward, and a great recruiting win, really, over Ohio State when you say it.
Yeah, and you look at it, it's like, oh, Boston College and Harvard, like, that's not getting me excited. Oh yeah, Ohio State, but Boston College, Harvard, like, this isn't your normal. Okay, like Guerby Lambert, the academics were very important, which is why he looked at Harvard. The close to home factor with Boston College was important, but Notre Dame having the elite football that Boston College and Harvard doesn't have, and having the elite academics that a Harvard does have. Obviously, Notre Dame's not going to be Harvard level, but you're getting the best of both worlds. Recruits say that so often, and Notre Dame had that, and that was very appealing to Lambert. 6'6", 290 pounds. You see the rankings. I mean, it just seems like, Tim, he has the making of continuing offensive line U at Notre Dame. Someone who I think has got great potential to be a first-round pick. When you look down the road, obviously in a few years, we'll pop on the tape, Tim. What stands out to you the most when you watch it?
Power. I mean, he's just straight up. Look at the first play right there. Straight up power. I mean, he's just violent point of attack, physical, just really good feet when you get a big guy. He's not, he will get after you. It's got really good fundamentals, very low. He is not a high football player. He's got a great low base, which Coach Rudolph's going to start and obviously, mold him into a great Notre Dame football player. So to me, that's the first thing I noticed is he gets low in his stance. He's a really good knee bender, as you see right there. He's not standing straight up. He's got really good punch right there. He's physical, man. He just keeps going right in this line, which they've had the last few years. And he's a top 50 football player. And Notre Dame's been, the top 50 guys that they've gotten over the years. You got Fisher, you got obviously Quentin Nelson, Jagasaw, Wagner, you got some high elite guys from the last couple of years. So they've all been big time football players for Notre Dame. So
yeah. Then there's more. There's recent guys as well, like Jagasaw, Cam Williams, CJ Carr. So definitely you just continue in that. What a top heavy class for Notre Dame at such important positions here. CJ Carr, Guerby Lambert, Cam Williams. I mean, it's this offensive class, Tim, is up there with what Notre Dame has recruited in recent memory on that side of the ball. Very exciting. Now, Tim, you rarely talk about true freshman starters at the offensive line. Blake Fisher, that Florida State game, and was that 2021 started. Yeah. Of course, he ended up getting hurt, but that was someone, and he ended up starting the Oklahoma State game, if I remember correctly, in the Fiesta Bowl. But you still don't see that often. I don't like it. It's early to talk about this with Guerby Lambert. Obviously, just now committed, but it does seem like he has the potential to be a guy that is one of those rare offensive tackle starters at Notre Dame. Maybe even starts out at guard and then kicks out the tackle later in his career.
Yeah, that's a great point there. I mean, the key with him is, is he going to be an early enrollment there? Coming out of, high school out there in Boston, great block right there. Right there. It steps with his inside foot. Sometimes big guys just use their size to overpower you. He stepped with his play side gap foot and just blew the heck out of that guy. So that's a heck of a football play. But no, it's a Notre Dame. I've gone on record, Mike. I believe, obviously Joel's, top 10, preseason. Everyone figures him to be up there. I truly believe Blake Fisher is going to go pro after this year. As long as he stays healthy, if he starts 12 games after Stanford, he'll have 27 starts. There's been a handful of offensive linemen the last few years have been in the low teens and have gotten drafted. I think Notre Dame what Notre Dame represents, the success Notre Dame guys have had in the pros, I think Fisher will take his 27 starts and go. That's just my opinion. And then you got Lambert, Jagasaw. You obviously got Wagner. So you've got these elite 5-star recruits. They really are. I mean, I bet you he ends up being an on-3 5-star, just like Wagner and Jagasaw were. So, that would be really exciting there. And you throw them in the mix. If it's guard, it's guard. But I think you're right, Mike. I think he's going to be in the mix. He's a lot more athletic than people think he is, because they see his size, just thinking some big mauler. The dude can move. Guerby Lambert is a heck of an athletic football player.
Yeah, really nice recruiting win for Notre Dame, Tim. One of those pot of gold day offers back last spring. So year and a half or so recruiting him. There were you always thought Notre Dame was probably the team to beat, but Guerby is not one who's talking to the media a ton. He plays things close to the vest. He's not super expressive. So for Notre Dame, for the duration of this recruitment, until he gives that commitment, it's hard to feel super confident. He even visited Boston College unofficially down the stretch. But I basically heard that, I think it was more likely for him to say thanks, but no thanks to Boston College. Thank them for recruiting him, but hey, I'm going to Notre Dame. Like, that's kind of my understanding. But Joe Rudolph comes in. Kudos to him. But I really do think that this was a job. Like, again, I don't want to discount anyone on the Notre Dame staff. Like, fantastic job. They did the best job recruiting him. But I think this is also just a fact of it's offensive line. It's 4 for 40. Guerby Lambert wanted Notre Dame. What an exciting pickup for the Fighting Irish, Tim. Great recruiting win. Great for the class. Just Notre Dame wanted 3 offensive linemen in the class. And what I was told, Tim, months ago, was they wanted 3. Guerby would be a 4th. Like, they knew Guerby was going to take his time more than some of these other offensive linemen. They get Guerby. I mean, Tim, this has to put Notre Dame like in the A. Like, if you're talking about this class, A minus, A plus if you're feeling generous. Like, just a fantastic class. Closing thoughts on this, Tim?
No, it's a great point. It is. I mean, the really good athletic offensive lineman coming in, Coach Rudolph. And, Coach Rudolph obviously taking over Harry Heastan. As your point there, they gave him the pot of gold offer, obviously a year ago. It's a long recruitment, and they stayed on him. And he wasn't one that was going to take visits. He wasn't one that was going to jump on the plane and go see, a couple spring balls. It was a workout, and you were a part of this since day one, charting this guy, just trying to get info and all that. And it was a grind. This has definitely got to be a top 3 grind in recruiting for you as a reporter. So that's fascinating there.
That's a great point. He took 2 recruiting trips outside of the state of Massachusetts. 2. Yes. Justin Thurman, the kid who committed a couple weeks ago, is going into his junior year. He's taken 27 plus. I think it might be 20 now, college visits. Lambert has visited Harvard, Boston College, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. The Notre Dame and Ohio State officials, that's it. So there's only been in Notre Dame once. So, heck of a recruiting win for Notre Dame to pull them out of the state of Massachusetts. Really nice win here for the Irish. Go to blueandgold.com. Much more coverage on this commitment. Again, folks, hit that thumbs up. You're excited. You like this video. So go ahead and do that. Subscribe to our channel, of course, for more content. And as always, folks, we will catch you next time.